All right, let's go. Let's go. Hello. Oh, wait. I got to fix something. Hold up. Give me a second. Okay, I think I've got it down now. Here we go. Are you ready? Yeah, let's turn that music down and start the damn show. This is getting worse and worse. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Tuesday. Usually it's Twitter Tuesday, but well, I kind of got my stuff from Twitter today. But this is getting crazy. If I can't get here by 9:30, that's not good. Hopefully we'll get it fixed. Anyway, let's just get the show started because I've already talked too much and I don't have as much time as I'd like, and through no fault of your own. So here we go. Johnny, stop that music and play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yep, that's me. Let's get it going right now. Stop the music, please, and let's go. Let's go. Oh, wait, that didn't work. Come on, Johnny, get your shit together. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel on this 18th of July, 2023. I'm going to waste as little time as possible because no, that's not Tower Power. It sounded like a Tower Power gig, though, didn't it? That's okay. Anyway, let's just go ahead and say hi and get it started because I'm pressed for time. I don't have a lot of time for intro stuff. Oh, what is that? I didn't even look up there. Anyway, let's go. Good morning. First over on Rumble to Avocados Diabli, who gets the whoops, not that one. Whoa, stop. There. The bell. And Mike Savage. Blarg. On YouTube. Welcome, Avocados Diabli, who gets the bell. Also, Somnum Bold Nation, Good Morning Rotten Corpse, Special K on Acid, Mike Savage, Blarg, Lord Stanhope, Tyler F, Good Morning, Tyrannus, Alexandrus, the Invictus, Leech. I'll say Leech. For those of you who prefer proper German. Good morning, Simon Wolfwood, Septus Wolf, fake news expert, Papa Hotep in the house, and anyone else who's like rolling in, lurking, whatever. I got a few people here. I got to get better on setting this up ahead of time because I just do. So, hola, Senor Perro. Senior dog, gotcha. I know that much Spanish, and I know what perro is, so I don't know if there's a pero. I don't know what like a knight who, the sword wielding knight is like in Spanish, but we'll figure it out someday. All right, let's just go ahead and get into some news because I don't have as much time. And I'm going to start with the breaking news that has everyone breathing heavily. Apparently, Donald Trump has been informed that he is a target of a probe. The self-control it takes. Okay, I have no self-control. Donald Trump is the target of a probe. Stop it! No, he's the target of probe, the special counsel, whatever, in efforts to overturn the 2020 election. This is amazing to me. You mean that he was trying to find legal means to challenge the election? I mean, what's the deal? Wait a minute, this happened again. What happened to my You Are the Streamline Superstar sponsor today? Well, before I get in, thank you, Cryptic. Cryptic, first sponsor today, which makes you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Cryptic, with a big bullet dropped in the tip jar. There, let's put your little thing up there. Who says, quote, I think the Russian invasion of Ukraine was caused by a translation error. A translation error. The Russian military invading Ukraine all have Z's. And the Ukrainians fighting back are the not Z's. Oh, cryptic. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Cryptic, for being a proud and generous sponsor of the show. And if you'd like to sponsor the show, at some point in the link in the chat, there'll be something that tells you how to do that. You can do it through Streamlabs, pdognight.live, Cash App, or Venmo in the description. But not YouTube Super Chats, because my channel has been demonetized. Just in time for me to be out for 6 to 8 weeks of work, and my only income will be from YouTube. Perfect. Anyway, good morning, Next Gen Troll over on Rumble. Nice to see you here. And so anyway, wait, is it an anal probe? If not, what's his new? Okay, stop it. Special proctologist or special prosecutor? Stop it. Y'all are killing me. Anyway, so big news this morning, and I have two different reports here. What is this? Why do I have two? Both reports look the same. Oh, I see. I opened this twice. Okay, so ABC News reporting. And it wasn't just ABC News. We knew this before ABC News reported this morning because Donald Trump tweeted something yesterday. In fact, let's go to the target letter first. We'll do the target letter because that was trending this morning on Twitter. And it's because Donald Trump over on Truth Social posted this statement from Donald John Trump. Now, this is a typical type of statement that you would read from Donald John Trump. That's why I would say it's entertaining. And so I'm going to put it on the screen here. Statement by Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States. Good morning, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadians in the house. Nice to see you. He writes, now I can't imitate Trump to save my life, so I'm not even going to try. He writes on Sunday night on Truth Social, he posts this. Yes. I feel like Joe Biden. He says, wow, on Sunday night while I was with my family, having just arrived from the Turning Point event in Florida where I won the straw poll against all other Republican candidates with 85.7%, with all polls showing me leading in the Republican Party by very substantial numbers, almost everyone predicting that I will be the Republican nominee for the president, and as I am the leading Democrat Joe Biden in the polls by a lot, well, he's leading by a little in some polls. Horrifying news for our country was given to me by my attorneys. Deranged Jack Smith, the prosecutor with Joe Biden's DOJ, sent a letter. Again, it was Sunday night. Well, that was his lawyer that talked to him Sunday night. Did he send the letter on Sunday night? Did he get the letter on Sunday night? Whatever. Doesn't matter. On Sunday night, stating that I am a target of the January 6th grand jury investigation and giving me a short 4 days to report to the grand jury, which almost always means an arrest and indictment. So now, Joe Biden's Attorney General, Merrick Garland, who I turned down for the United States Supreme Court in retrospect based on his corrupt and unethical actions, a very wise decision, if he doesn't say so himself, right? Together with Joe Biden's Department of Injustice, have effectively issued a third indictment and arrest of Joe Biden's number one political opponent, who is largely dominating him in the race for the presidency. Nothing like this has ever happened to our country before, or even close. They illegally spied on my campaign, attacked me with the totally fake dossier that was funded by Hillary Clinton's campaign and the DNC, impeached me twice. I won. They failed on the Mueller witch hunt. No collusion. They failed on the Russia hoax, the 51 intelligence agents fraud, the FBI Twitter files, the DOJ Facebook censorship, and every other scam imaginable. But on top of that, they have now effectively indicted me 3 times. The DOJ staffed and runs the DA office in Manhattan, with probable forthcoming in Atlanta, where the DOJ are in strict and possibly illegal coordination with the district attorney, whose record on murder and other violent crimes is abysmal. The witch hunt is about election interference and a complete and total political weaponization of law enforcement. It is a very sad and dark period for our nation. So that is the statement by Donald Trump that confirms that he did receive this target letter, so-called target letter. Good morning, Balin Bobby. How you doing? We have pulled 1,000 Cubs fans and have determined the White Sox sucks. Yes. Good morning, Aaron Meredith. So that was a statement by Trump. And so all the liberals are, I guess I should say Democrats and anti-Trump people for lack of, well, I was going to say they're jerking off because they're so excited, but that's probably not appropriate. But I don't give a shit anymore because they've already taken my monetization away. What else can they do to me? Shut down my channel for one sexual joke when they have people showing their buttholes on YouTube? I don't care. So anyway, if you don't know what I'm talking about with the buttholes thing, there's a video on YouTube, and it's I don't know if it's a I don't know if it's a it's supposed to be educational on something about anal bleaching or something like that. I don't know, but the guy shows maybe shaving his taint. I don't know, but it's full on butthole on YouTube because if it's educational, they will allow it, particularly if it has anything to do with the LBGTQ plus LMNOP, AIP, LMNO, FBI, RSTUV, plus, minus, and 2.5. As long as it has to do with that, they'll put it on YouTube because it's educational. But I digress. So anyway, breaking that Donald Trump says he's been notified that he's a target of his J6 grand jury investigation, expects to be indicted and arrested again. Lots of people talking about that. The grand jury, the target letter. So let's see how ABC News reports this, how they got the information, whatnot, because I'm curious. Only because they're pretty mainstream unit. Now, if it's NBC, they're jumping for joy. But let's go to ABC News here. Special counsel informs Trump he is the target of a probe in efforts to overturn 2020 election. The development indicates another indictment of Trump could be imminent. Special counsel Jack Smith, aka Democrat porno star, hello Chris Kroll, has informed President Donald Trump by letter that he is a target in his investigation and efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Now, that's not what Donald Trump said. Oh, they got sources. Oh, sources familiar with the matter says bullshit. Everyone read Donald Trump's posts, whatever, Truth Social post. And that's where they got the information. The letter which sources said was transmitted to Trump's attorneys in recent days. Wait a minute. Again, they read Donald Trump's Truth Social post, because that's where everyone else got the news from. Indicates that yet another indictment of the former president could be imminent, though it is not immediately clear what kind of charges he could ultimately face. Target letters are typically given to subjects of criminal investigation to put them on notice that they are facing the prospect of indictment. Trump similarly received a target letter from Smith before he was indicted by a grand jury in Florida for his alleged mishandling of classified documents after leaving the White House and his alleged efforts to obstruct the government's investigation. Smith took control of the sprawling Justice Department investigation into the failed efforts by Trump and his allies to thwart his election loss upon his appointment as special counsel in November of last year. And in recent months, dozens of witnesses have appeared to testify before a federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. According to the sources. According to sources, prosecutors have questioned witnesses specifically about the efforts to put forward the false slates of so-called false electors. Well, at least they say so-called false electors. They were trying to find a legal way to fight this, what they thought was fraud. Now, I'm not saying there was fraud, YouTube, but that's what they thought, and they were trying to find ways to fight that. I guess that's not legal anymore? I don't know. That were to have cast electoral college votes during the certification of Trump in key swing states that he lost to President Joe Biden. Investigators have sought information on Trump's actions and his state of mind in the days leading up to and on January 6th, when thousands of Trump supporters attacked the U.S. Capitol, temporarily disrupting certification and causing lawmakers and former Vice President Pence to flee the building. Gee, I've never heard of a riot that would cause anyone to flee a building before. Oh, wait, didn't that happen to President Trump the summer of 2020? Oh, never mind. Nobody noticed that or can remember that one. Anyway, and by the way, notice that they're not using the word insurrection. They didn't use the word insurrection that time. That's weird. That is weird. Of course, they say they attacked the Capitol. Did they attack the Capitol, or was there a riot at the Capitol? Like, was it an attack like it was planned? Because, I wish I could find the video, but I've seen it a few times where, did you know that when they went up there, there was no one really clashing with police at first. There was some push and shove, whatever. But mostly, people were just standing around, right? When all of a sudden, the police started throwing flashbangs into the crowd and hitting the people closest to them with batons. It was weird. And I don't know if that is only one angle or if that's only one section of what was up there, but they weren't doing anything other than standing around. But after that happened, all hell broke loose. Now, there were the idiots who were trying to break into the Capitals, but remember, they were kind of led by that John Solomon guy who's not a MAGA person. In fact, he's a well-known activist from out west, hanging out with the anti-fa people, right? And he was the one like, oh yeah, breaking that shit, so break shit. And then even when they got inside, he was talking about, oh yeah, they need to break shit. They should start tearing this stuff down, tear this place up. And it's funny because once the people went in the building, they broke into some offices, right? But they didn't really destroy any of the things. They didn't start tearing down statues. They didn't start burning artwork. They didn't set any fires. They kind of just milled around, took pictures, even with the officers, because some of the officers just let up half those people in there. And they milled about, went in through some of the buildings. And other than the one group that was kind of going towards that restricted area, unarmed, and yet they shot and killed one of them, they didn't cause a whole lot of mayhem once they came inside. They did steal Nancy Pelosi's laptop and took some selfies and pictures from her desk because they thought that would be hilarious. But then after a few hours, a couple hours, whatever, everybody kind of just left on their own. No one was arrested, no nothing. They just all left. So clearly, if they were trying to take over the government, Because a lot of people said they were trying to overthrow the government of the United States. If they were trying to overthrow the government of the United States, wouldn't they have been a little more armed and maybe had a plan, not just to go inside and take some selfies and then leave after a couple hours? Like, would they have taken hostages? Would they have, tried to do anything more than just go in and take a bunch of pictures and maybe some people yell and scream a little bit? That doesn't seem like an insurrection. That just seems like some idiots got inside. They're like, oh shit, we're inside. What do we do now? And then so they left. And how exactly? So you're trying to have a coup. You're trying to take over the government of the United States of America, and a few hundred people go into a building, stand around, and take picture stuff. How do you take over the government that way? How? So clearly these people just wanted to be heard, wanted to stop the vote, hopefully getting a chance to finish up a court case that was open and actually go get them to do some recounts in some of these states that some of them had already done. But, I don't know that this was an insurrection by any stretch of the imagination. It was a bunch of people there. Some rides got ahead. Some people got a little around. It's like when a college sports team wins a national championship and the idiots at the college, they go out and have a parade and get outside. They're all happy and shit. And then someone decides that they're going to try to tip a car over because that's kind of funny. And then it turns into a full-scale riot, right? They didn't go there to destroy the whatever. They were just there to do some shit, and the crowd mentality took over. And the idea that they could indict President Trump for that, when Donald Trump, there are receipts, okay? There are receipts of Donald Trump saying, no, we want this to be peaceful. Let's go over it peacefully, let your voices be heard. And then during the riot, the tweets he made when that Twitter took down, that look, there's a video of the QAnon Shaban dude, Jacob Chansley, right? Before they even entered the building, reading Donald Trump's tweet to the crowd to be peaceful, to be respectful of the officers, yada, yada. That's the tweet they took down during the middle of this. It's almost as though Twitter didn't want any evidence of him saying, don't do some stupid shit. He didn't wait twice. He tweeted, and then Twitter didn't let his account work anymore for a while. That doesn't sound like someone who wanted an insurrection. So it's quite comical, honestly. But, he got lawyers, tried to find every legal means, didn't work out. There was a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th. 2021. But and also the other part too, here's the other part. The shaman told the crowd that Trump said go home. Yeah, he did. He told him that. He did tell him. He yelled that out. So clearly Trump said that, right? Now I lost my train of thought. So he's got this letter now, and they're excited. Oh, they're excited. They're excited. You go under Target letter on Twitter. The first people reporting it on here are Midas Touch. Who else was it? Who's Jack's? Well, this is a fake Jack Smith. The Lincoln Project. Oh, they're excited. They're excited. Peter Strzok right here. Looks like someone received another Target letter. Well, you little slimy bastard should be in jail right now. But unfortunately, the Justice Department plays ball with your sorry ass. Mueller, she wrote, oh, they're excited. They're so excited. They're all tweeting this out. Now, it's interesting because if I go under Target letter, which when I first saw the Target letter trending, I'm like, Target letter is like, did Target do something stupid? Like the company Target, but that's not it. So New York Times breaking news. Donald Trump said he received a target letter from the Justice Department in its January 6th investigation. So this is hilarious. So the way ABC News reported, they had some special source. See, they had a sources familiar with the matter told us this happened. And it basically, the whole article is what Donald Trump said in his tweet. Yeah, he's a source that'd be familiar with the matter. But it looks like New York Times at least was honest. Breaking news, Donald Trump said he had received a target letter from the Justice Department. They reported on it an hour ago. So congratulations, New York Times, for at least being a little more honest than ABC News. Jack Smith sending President Trump a target letter and then indicating he has to appear in front of a grand jury makes no sense. Rarely do you put a target in front of a grand jury. They will plead the fifth, and you run the risk of compromising your case given due process rights. Well, that's interesting. What does a target letter mean about other Trumpo mobsters related to January 6th? I don't know this, but I am confident it means Jack Smith has everybody else covered. Either they've been flipped like Mark Meadows or will be indicted together with Trump like General Flynn. Well, didn't General Flynn didn't get in trouble, did he? I don't remember. So anyway, that's the big news of the morning. That's the breaking news, is Donald Trump got a target letter. Yippee. All right, let me check. I'm checking notifications again real quick. Thank you, Scribe Lights. Thank you, Tyler F. Who else? Sound Humble Nation, I already said, for tweeting out the show today. I greatly appreciate that. This show is brought to you by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please hit the like button during the stream. Send this show to whoever you know. And if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that. It tells you how every once in a while. Is that even on there? I don't even see. I see this Streamlabs thing going, but it's not telling you to, for whatever reason, it's not telling you to where you can donate. Let me check that real quick, because that's important. It's going to be more important in a month or so, but we'll get there. All right. Why is this not even logged in? What the hell? My Streamlabs isn't logged in. That's weird. So there is other news as I'm doing this. Beto. Beto is trending.
Beta.
It took long enough. Here, let me find this CloudBot. There we go. Timers. Okay, they're all on. I just don't know why they're not working. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. Beto O'Rourke is trending because Beto O'Rourke has called out Texas Governor Greg Abbott. Now, this is fascinating. This is fascinating because I am curious about this. Here it is, Beto O'Rourke. Now, here's Ed Krasenstein, and I'll explain after we read the Daily Krasenstein. Breaking. Beto O'Rourke has called on President Biden to stop Texas Governor Abbott from potentially harming asylum seekers at the Texas border. Stop! They're not asylum seekers. Oh my God. The only reason vast majority of these people are claiming asylum is because they know and have been advised before they come here that if they say they're claiming asylum, they have a better chance of being released within the United States, and then they can never show up for the trials. If they're just saying they're across the border because they want to be in America, they'll get sent back. So they all process these lying asylum seeker things when they're not seeking asylum. The people that are coming across our southern border are from all over the world. Okay, there's a border crossing tourism industry apparently, because we're getting people from 107 countries coming across our border. A large number of them are not even from this continent. Okay, they're not all coming from South America and Central America and Mexico and all those other places. They're coming from all over the freaking world through our border. Places like islands like Cuba and Haiti, and places like Croatia and China and different countries in Africa. Don't say Africa because someone will accuse you of saying, well, Africa's not a country. Boy, are you stupid. Okay, they're coming from everywhere. And so anyway, Beto has publicly called on Biden to stop him from deploying razor wire and other medieval drowning devices designed to ensure and snare and mutilate. Stop every illegal thing he's doing on the border that ends up killing human rights. Mr. President, we need you to act. Okay, I got a better idea, Beta.
Beta!
How about you encourage President Biden to get serious about the border so Governor Abbott doesn't have to? You moron. So here's why this is coming up, okay? Now there's a guy here. This is Benjamin Wormand. And he wrote an article, and I don't know what these are two different publications. One is the San Antonio Express News. Now I'm not sure what that is, if that's the main newspaper in San Antonio or not. But it's also in the Houston Chronicle. Now, both reliably, at least editorial left-leaning publications, right? Good morning now. Good morning, Woo. What's up? So, and it's the same article in both, but I found when one person referenced it in the San Antonio Express News, one person posted it from the Houston Chronicle. And so when you go into here, I think Beto, Beto referenced the Houston Chronicle. All right. And here's his tweet: ordered to push small children and nursing babies back into the Rio Grande. That's a quote from the article, I'm sure. Abbott, you are a thug, a murderer, a ghoul. People are dying while you play war games against defenseless mothers and children. Hey, Beta, how about you ask the Biden administration where those 85,000 missing kids are too while you're at it? Anyway, as if you give a shit. So anyway, here's the article from both the Houston Chronicle and the San Antonio Express. Exclusive: Texas troopers told to put. Oh, by the way, this Benjamin Wormand, let me give you a heads up on Benjamin Wormand. And worm is probably appropriate. Here's some other articles by Benjamin Wormand, just so you can kind of get what kind of articles he writes. Exclusive: razor wire along the Rio Grande. We already read that one. Texas GOP cheers Supreme Court ruling blocking Biden plan to forgive loans for 1.4 million Texans. That has a slant. Education: Supreme Court strikes down Biden's student loan plan, withholding relief from millions of Texans. Wow, that seems like he has an agenda there. Ken Paxton's a hurry downplays report by AG's property buying spree amid federal investigation. White House slams John Cornyn for infrastructure vote amid Bidenomics plan. Supreme Court ruling should deter a repeat of Ken Paxton's 2020 election challenge, experts say. He is ex-CIA. He speaks Urdu, and he went to Marshall High. 5 things to know about Will Hurd. I don't know what that one means. Oh, because Will Hurd is apparently running for president, and this guy apparently likes Will Hurd. So but basically every article he writes has kind of a negative connotation for Republicans and positive for Democrats. So let's start there. Exclusive: Texas troopers told to push children into the Rio Grande, deny water to immigrants, records say. Records say. Okay. Officers working for Governor Greg Abbott's border security initiative have been ordered to push small children and nursing babies back into the Rio Grande. Wow. Really? Is that a quote, a verbatim? Is that exactly what he said to do? Push small children and nursing babies back to the Rio Grande? Yes. In fact, it's an executive order. It's the Small Children and Nursing Baby Drowning Act by Governor Ted Abbott, or whatever, Greg Abbott, that we want to drown and small children and nursing babies. I'm sure that's exactly what the order says. I'm sure of it. I am sure of it. And have been told not to give water to asylum seekers, even in extreme heat, according to an email from a Department of Public Safety trooper who described his actions as inhumane. Really? Just sending your children across thousands of miles of hike hopefully to come into a country illegal is humane. Let's analyze the whole thing here. The July 3 account, reviewed by Hearst newspapers, discloses several previously unreported incidents the trooper witnessed in Eagle Pass, where the state of Texas has strung miles of razor wire and deployed a wall of buoys in the Rio Grande. According to the email, a pregnant woman having a miscarriage was found late last month caught in the wire, doubled over in pain. A 4-year-old girl passed out from heat exhaustion after she tried to go through it and was pushed back by Texas National Guard soldiers. A teenage boy broke his leg trying to navigate the water around the wire and had to be carried out by his father. The email, which the trooper sent to a superior, suggests that Texas has set traps of razor wire wrapped barrels in parts of the river with high water and low visibility. And it says the wire has increased the risk of drowning by forcing migrants into deeper stretches of the river. I got an idea. And this is awful. This is awful. Okay? I'm sure if it's not a deterrent, then these people are nuts. I got an idea. How about we suggest that all these people crossing the rivers and border or whatever illegally, how about if the Biden administration suggests that they go to a port of entry or they will be immediately sent back? Would that not deter some of these people? If it sounds like something sounded like something that Beto should be asking the Biden administration. Stop it. It's something that Beto should be asking the Biden administration to maybe take a little more seriously. There are ports of entry. We have a robust method of legally immigrating to this country. If they do it properly, then maybe we can discourage these people from coming across the border. Hey, if you come across the border in a legal place and we catch you, you're going home immediately. I would rather send plane tickets to everyone, send them back to their point of origin, than to house and feed them because they need to go through a port of entry. Is that cruel? Is that something that does no other country require that kind of thing? I'm curious. Can you smuggle yourself into Ukraine? Can you, or Turkey or Saudi Arabia? Can you go into any of those countries illegal? How about France? Can you go into France just illegal? Well, they're having a little problem themselves, I guess. Anyway, thank you, Tyler Alexander, for sponsoring the show. You are a great American. This is going, okay, thank you, Tyler, with dropping a small bullet tip jar, saying this is going to sound harsh. But I am all for pushing the kids back across the Rio Grande. It sucks, but they are being used as tools to help criminals, drug mules, human traffickers, and a shit ton of foulness enter. Stop all until we can plug the leak. Thank you. I appreciate you sponsoring the show. Oops, no, you're not. No, wait, no, you're not. Here, there we go. It sounds awful, but you know what? Maybe go get your activists. Okay, get your activists, right? Have them go to Mexico. And rather than trying to tell them how to skirt the system and apply for asylum through fake entry into the country, perhaps you can have those activists guide the people who want to get in so bad to a port of entry. And maybe they can apply for asylum the correct way. Or better yet, they can take them, send people all over South America, Central America, and all the people who are walking in these caravans, stop them and say, hey, you're better off if you just go to an embassy. And if you're really going to apply for asylum, go to an embassy. If you're not really applying for asylum, go home. Gee, what a concept. So anyway, this article continues. This is a writer who is certainly has an agenda. And I'm sorry. Been ordered to push small children and nursing babies back into the Rio Grande. Is that really what the order was? I'm having a hard time believing that. Department of Public Safety spokesman Travis Cosidine did not comment on all the contents of the trooper's email, but said there is no policy against giving water to migrants. Kozadin provided an email from the DPS director Stephen McCraw on Saturday calling for an audit to determine if more can be done to minimize risks to migrants. McCraw wrote troopers should warn migrants not to cross the wire, redirect them to ports of entry. I would have never thought of that. And closely watch for anyone who needs medical attention. In another email, McCraw acknowledged that there has been an increase in injuries from the wire, including 7 incidents reported by Border Patrol where migrants needed elevated medical attention from July 4th to July 13th. Those were in addition to the incidents detailed by the trooper. The purpose of the wires to deter smuggling between ports of entry and not to injure migrants. McCall, look, it's a deterrent. Supposedly, the smugglers care not if the migrants were injured, but we do. And we must take all necessary measures to mitigate the risk to them, including injuries from trying to cross over the concertina wire, drowning, and dehydration. The incident detailed in the email comes as Abbott stepped up efforts. I wonder if that's poor wording. They shouldn't talk about Abbott stepping anywhere. Anyway, stepped up efforts in recent weeks to physically bar migrants from entering the country through his Operation Lone Star initiative, escalating tensions between state and federal officials and drawing increased scrutiny from humanitarian groups who say the state is endangering asylum. Humanitarian groups, again, get my message right now. Humanitarian groups, it's time for you to do your job. Okay, if you're a humanitarian group, how about you go to the border and tell the people how to get to a port of entry where they can do this in a legal manner? Oh, is that not really your interest? Oh, sorry, then you're not really a humanitarian group. Oh, and fuck you. Okay, so the most aggressive initiatives have been targeted at Eagle Pass. The state has now also deployed a wall of floating buoys in the Rio Grande, which triggered complaints over the weekend from Mexico. Hey, Mexico, maybe you can help direct these people to a port of entry too, instead of allowing them to come through Eagle Pass, assholes. Federal Border Patrol officials have issued internal warnings that the razor wires preventing their agents from reaching at at-risk migrants and increasing the risk of drownings in the Rio Grande, Hearst newspapers reported last week. A DPS trooper expressed similar concerns, writing that the placement of the wire along the river forces people to cross into other areas that are deeper and not safe for people carrying kids and bags. Well, don't bring your kids and bags through the river. Good God. Hi, Jimmy Doss Hotep. How you doing? According to the email, a DPS boat found a mother at one of the children who went under the water for a minute. They were pulled from the river and given medical care before transferring to EMS, but were later declared deceased at the hospital. The second child was never found, the email said. The governor said he is taking necessary steps to secure the border and accused federal officials of refusing to do so. True. Texas is deploying every tool and strategy to deter and repel illegal crossings between ports of entry as President Biden's dangerous open border policies entice migrants from over 150 countries to risk their lives entering the country illegally, said Andrew Mahalis, Abbott's press secretary. President Biden has unleashed a chaos on the border that's unsustainable. We have a constitutional duty to respond to this unprecedented crisis. Wow, it's interesting how far that is down in the article. Hello, Maddie. What's up? Hope you're feeling well. Hi, Woodcutter, by the way. I meant to say that earlier. Let's see. On June 30th, a trooper found a group of people along the wire, including a 4-year-old girl who tried to cross the wire and was pressed back by Texas Guard soldiers due to orders given to them, the email says. The DPS trooper wrote that the temperature was well over 100 degrees and the girl passed out from exhaustion. We provided... Look! Yes, this is all bad. What's worse is that you're encouraging people to do it. Joe Biden. You're encouraging him to do it by not enforcing the border. You're not getting Mexico to help. You're not getting the humanitarian aid groups to help. You're not getting anyone to help stop this. What are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? Hello, amazing disgrace. Did you see the big float Texas strung along the Rio Grande? Yeah, I did. They pushed her in the river, the best place to be when it's 100 degrees. Oh my God. Well, you definitely cool off in the river. Another instance, troopers found a 19-year-old woman in obvious pain stuck in the wire. She was cut free, given medical assessment, which determined she was pregnant and having a miscarriage. She was then transferred to emergency medical services. The trooper also treated a man with significant laceration in his left leg who said he had been cut while trying to free his child who was stuck in a trap in the water, describing a barrel with razor wire all over it. Well, why? Oh my God, if you can't see the razor wires, why aren't you just... Oh, good God. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, sponsor the show over on Rumble with a Rumble ramp at $20. Wow. Thank you, sir. There's big money with illegal immigration, drug trade, etc. Our government is compliant. Eventually, they will grant amnesty to create voters while bolstering for-profit prisons with drug crimes, violence, etc. Oh, spot on. That's right. That's right. I'm going to give you one of these.
That's right.
Hello, 1 who 2. What's up? So anyway, this article is, yes, there's some awful things happening because the federal government isn't doing their fucking job. And look, all these people who are complaining, the Mexican government, the humanitarian people, all of them are also basically not doing their job. Our federal government should be talking to those people. Say, hey, how do we get these people to go to a port of entry and apply for asylum the right way? I tell you what, people in the cities in Texas, southern parts of Texas, are overwhelmed. You know, they complain because, oh, we have too many of these migrants being shipped to Chicago and New York. Well, they have about 1/50th of the number of those people as Texas does. As probably, I would guess, maybe Arizona too, New Mexico maybe, but Texas especially. And it's almost as if, how is it that they're all coming in through Texas and not maybe Arizona or New Mexico? Why are they not hearing about the problems in those other states? I am a little bit curious about that. You know, it's like, is that like planned? But I gotta tell you, even the Hispanic lawmakers in Texas are like, what the fuck's going on here? We can't handle this many people. Thousands and thousands have come through smuggled them way themselves through there. And none of the federal government is doing shit about it. So if it was FTG, the Biden administration on that. All right. Let's just do a little rundown of the other stuff that I had going on here. Jesse Waters is trending. Apparently Jesse Waters' mom is a liberal. That's why he's trending. And she called into the show, and Brian Stelter was all excited about it. Here's the clip that a lot of people on the other side of the aisle are posting on Jesse Waters' mom, the liberal, posting on a show. Here it is. Oh.
We have a very special guest on the line, a Democrat, my mom.
Okay.
Mom?
Hello there, Jesse.
Hello there, Mom. How have you enjoyed the show so far?
I have enjoyed the show. I want to say congratulations, Honey Bun. We are so proud of you and your accomplishments, and you've worked so hard. Now let's aim to have you keep your job. And to that end, I do have some suggestions.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Brian Stelter introduced this as saying maybe the wrong Waters was promoted. It's okay, because he's got the old Sean Hannity time slot, which is that's tough. Fox News. I mean, now let me just say, I do like Jesse Waters. I think he's funny. I think he says some good things. I don't know if he'll ever be able to fill Tucker's shoes. I doubt it, but he's had some pretty good editorial stuff going on an editorial show. But anyway.
Do not tumble into any conspiracy rabbit holes.
Oh, that's a Democrat thing to say,
and
right?
we want no lawsuits.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
keeping, I have a list
He's
here. In keeping with the Hippocratic Oath,
Good morning,
do
ZZ.
no harm. We need you to be kind and respectful. You yourself mentioned that humble is a stretch, so I get that. Use your voice responsibly to promote conversation that maintains a narrative thread. There really has been enough Biden bashing, and the laptop
No,
is
there hasn't.
old.
Oh, I love that one. The laptop is old. Really? I think that was just heating up, to be honest with you.
Perhaps you could suggest that your people take less interest, for example, in other people's bodies, and talk about that.
Oh, Mom, showing your true colors. Now, interesting, he cut it off there. I don't know if there was more, but everyone seems to be cutting it off right there. So that's fascinating. Let's see. Here's his mom. His mom was raised Waters was raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, son of a teacher, and a child psychologist. And Purvis, daughter of Morton J. Bailey Jr., publisher of Better Homes and Garden magazine. His maternal great-grandfather was Morton Bailey, publisher of the Saturday Evening Post. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know this. So he has a journalism, more like daily publication background in his family. So whatever. And I gotta laugh because I could see my mother and I having the exact same conversation. Both my mother and my mom that I grew up with. This is one of my funniest times going home. And I'm going to finish with this. There's a bunch of other stuff that'll be in the links, but I'm not getting to any of it because I'm already done. But one of my favorite, I don't know if it's my favorite story, but it's one of the funny things. This must have been about 2000. I'm going to say 2012, right around 2000, right around the campaign for Obama's second term, or re-election against Mitt Romney. And I was home for something. Me and my mom, my kids, and whatever, we were home. And I don't know what we were talking about. And I said something to the effect, that, I just don't think I could vote for Obama. And my mother kind of looks up and she goes, well, why is that? Well, first of all, I don't like, there's things I don't like that are happening. And I think that, as a Republican, I probably shouldn't have voted for him the first time, because I did the first time just because a throwaway vote. So I could say that because it was clear that he was going to win Minnesota. It didn't matter. And then I could say, I voted for the first black president, whatever that was worth. And but I said something about being a Republican. She like has this very confused look on her face. She goes, "You're a Republican?" I said, "Yeah, Mom, I've been a Republican since the first time I voted." "You're a Republican?" "Mom, yeah." And she's like, she was just so confused. She's like, how did that happen? Now, the thing is, too, in my family, I wasn't the only Republican. My dad was not a Republican, but he didn't really care about parties that much. But his mother, my grandmother, was a Republican until the day she died. And this, she was a Republican because when she was young, she's a black woman she was born in 1911 or whatever. And she was Republican until the first time she voted. She voted Republican. A lot of black people were Republican back then. She never changed her party affiliation. She was Republican until the day she died. Even though she probably voted Democrat since the 70s, she was still a Republican. But my mom was so confused when I told her that. And I just kind of chuckled about it because after, a few days later, I was just like laughing because the look on her face was just like, what? What? And anyway, so it was hilarious. And plus, I did like John McCain. I couldn't stand John McCain. I thought he was worthless. I knew that my votes throw away in Minnesota. There was no way that John McCain was going to win Minnesota. I'm like, well, okay, I'll just do this. The fresh new guy who had the soaring speeches, but really was full of shit. I ended up voting for him. So anyway, all right, now let me just, before I go, just a couple minor things. One is that yesterday our friend Mike was here and he said, that real wages are up. And we know that that's a lie. Real wages are not up from the time of the start of the pandemic. And he said, well, you just use big deal, a Twitter fact check. Oh, that's fake. Well, there were links in the Twitter fact check. And I'm going to have to ask you to read this article because this one's hilarious too. In the Washington Post, they have an article called "Americans Are Still Better Off with More in the Bank Than Before the Pandemic." And it's this article just talking about, there's one indicator here. Oh, so people apparently have more money in the bank than they did before the pandemic. Despite inflation, despite all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, is this the Washington Post doing some propaganda? And so within that, beyond the tweet of that, I found this little chart here. If Mike ever comes back and looks at this, here's the proof that real wages, which is wages adjusted for inflation, are not higher. And in fact, this is quarter 2 2021. They have gone down and they're up slightly from the second quarter in 22, but during the pandemic they were higher than even this. So there's some visual proof. This is from indicate US, Fred, which is the, 1982-1994 CPI adjusted dollars, employed full-time, median usual weekly real earnings, wage and salary workers 16 and over. They are down even from the beginning of the Biden administration. They're up slightly from the second quarter. When he says real wages are up, they're up slightly from the second and third quarter, ever so slightly from the third quarter, but they're down from since the beginning of the pandemic because that was a lie by Joe Biden. So there are the receipts. It's in the links. There's other articles, lots of other articles here that are interesting, and you can check them out. But I do have to finish the show today. So thank you for being here at the Morning Night Live. I'll drop the link to all the links in the chat during the outro. Please hit the like button, share this stream, do all that stuff that I ask you to. And if you would be so kind, or if you are inclined, please sponsor this show in a monetary way through Streamlabs, Venmo, Cash App, Rumble Rants, but not YouTube because, well, YouTube sucks. Anyway, 24 hours a day and everything else. Thank you, Jimmy Das Hotep, dropping a big bomb in the Rumble Rants. Thank you, Cryptic, who is the Streamlabs superstar sponsor of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, gotta go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.